Welcome to the Nation of History channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. German soldiers and a pack mule wear protective masks against chemical threats during World War I fighting, showing defensive technology used for both people and animals in 1916. Prisoners at the Bergen-Belsen camp wait for help from British troops after the garrison surrender on April 15, 1945, revealing the severity of the humanitarian crisis at the end of the war and the impact of the German government on civilians and detainees. Hundreds of burials await organization on sandy shores during the Spanish flu pandemic in 1918. The scene reflects funeral services overwhelmed by a global public health crisis without precedent. Meg Miles enjoys an outdoor leisure moment, symbolizing the glamour and lifestyle ideal of Hollywood actresses who filled entertainment magazines and popular imagination during the 1950s. 31-year-old Staff Sergeant Carlos O.J. Orjuela reflects the physical and emotional wear on American troops in Helmand Province in 2004, showing the intensity of the mission in Afghanistan. 12-year-old Lo Man Hung works as the youngest photojournalist in South Vietnam in 1968, capturing military vehicles and the reality of war as tanks and troops move forward. Stalks of a parasitic fungus from the Cordyceps genus emerge from a tarantula's body, showing a complex biological process where the invading organism consumes the host to spread its own spores in nature. A small child creates a funny moment by trying to lick a door window, capturing childhood spontaneity and curiosity in a widely shared home photograph from the 1960s onward. Terry Sawchuk shows the scars he built up over years of professional hockey, highlighting the risks goalies faced before protective masks became required and changed safety in the sport. The Apollo 1 astronauts appear in prayer beside a small model of the spacecraft in 1966, a record made before the incident that would define the mission the next year and leave a deep impact on the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Soldier George Kelly from Philadelphia is photographed near Boutgenbach, Belgium, in January 1945, facing the harsh European winter shortly before losing his life in the final phase of World War II. A costumed figure wearing a mask and fantasy clothing poses among trees for an artistic photo shoot focused on dramatic mood and strong visual impact during the 1920s. Stock market traders show exhaustion and stress during Black Monday in 1987, when the sudden global market crash created economic instability and drastically changed trading rules worldwide. Actress Sharon Tate poses for a set of portraits that capture her striking look and rise as a Hollywood cultural icon shortly before becoming one of the most iconic figures in world cinema during the 1960s. In the intense cold of December 1950, American Marines carry out the difficult withdrawal toward Hungnam during the Korean War, facing extreme weather and operational challenges along the route. Actress Marilyn Monroe, at 24, sits on a wooden bench in Griffith Park in Los Angeles, enjoying a relaxed moment captured during a publicity photo shoot in the mid-1950s. Two men show the huge size of a historic large-scale hunting device used to trap waterfowl before it was banned for its environmental impact during the 19th century. Forged iron caltrops were scattered on the ground to stop advancing cavalry and opposing forces, acting as a defensive barrier in combat settings before military equipment was modernized. An Indian worker shows extraordinary strength by holding up a massive stone block in 1895, capturing the physical feats that amazed audiences and documented human endurance in the late 19th century. A man tests a safety device installed on a car in the streets of Paris, designed to scoop up pedestrians in a collision and reduce severe injuries during city traffic in 1924. Naturalist William Beebe looks through the porthole of the bathysphere, the first crewed exploration vessel built to withstand deep ocean pressure during scientific expeditions in 1930. Focused on finding the perfect shot for his next job, a photographer searches for new angles at a racetrack in the United States in 1976, while a race car loses control right behind him without his noticing. Inventor John Archibald Purvis and his son test the Dynasphere, a futuristic electric one-wheel vehicle, on the sands of Weston-super-Mare in England during mobility experiments in mid-1932. Pigeons fitted with tiny cameras revolutionize aerial surveillance and documentary photography in 1908. The method developed by Julius Neubronner anticipated modern monitoring concepts through autonomous flight. A motorcycle enthusiast poses fully geared on her bike during the 1920s, when new mobility and mechanical advances helped women explore fresh paths of independence and leisure. Maasai warriors perform adumu, a traditional vertical jumping dance that symbolizes strength and endurance, during a cultural ceremony in their East African savannah community during 1950. A United States soldier helps a Japanese child on Saipan during the 1944 fighting, revealing a brief humanitarian contrast amid the harsh Pacific campaigns. A soldier and his partner share a passionate kiss on a train station platform, saying goodbye before troops depart for battlefronts during World War II in the mid-1940s. A photographer balances on an elevated structure above Berlin in 1912, capturing the German cityscape from a daring angle that reflects technical progress and the use of high urban spaces in major cities. Felipe Ramirez Perez, a man nearly 6 feet 6 inches tall, is found by immigration officers while trying to cross the United States border hidden under a car hood, showing the danger and urgency of such crossings. During a visit to Worstead Church in Norfolk in the United Kingdom in 1975, Diane Berthelot is photographed on a wooden bench, sparking debate about unexplained phenomena that drew the attention of paranormal enthusiasts. During an investigation at the O'Hare Mansion in Greencastle, Indiana, Guy Winters captured images that fueled local legends about supposed apparitions, revealing public fascination with mysteries in historic properties. A movie-themed statue remains submerged in the depths of Crystal Lake, serving as an installation that attracts divers and keeps film pop culture mystique alive underwater. Removing old carpets in a newly purchased home revealed a giant Monopoly board painted directly onto the wooden floor, preserving a playful piece of past decades inside the house. A fountain in Detroit, Michigan turns into a towering ice sculpture about 30 feet tall after being kept running in extreme cold, creating a sight that drew the curiosity of local passers-by. Danish engineer Jacob Ellehammer tests his innovative semi-triplane aircraft, whose circular wings aimed for greater lift during the early days of experimental aviation in mid-September 1906. The freezing of Niagara Falls in the early 1900s turned the natural landscape into a vast world of ice and snow. Visitors walked on the hardened water, exploring rare formations in front of the frozen falls. The first whirlpool aerocar crossing over the Niagara Falls Gorge took place in August 1916. The steel cable car, decorated with flags, gave tourists a prime view of the turbulent waters. On an expedition across African savannas in 1930, hunters used rough nets to carry a lion bound for a European zoo, reflecting the era's common practice of displaying exotic animals. A train crosses the massive Bingham Viaduct in Utah, carrying copper ore in 1914, showing the power of industrial infrastructure and how important mining was to American economic expansion. Workers balance on the enormous wooden framework of the Dale Creek Bridge in Wyoming, a key piece of the Transcontinental Railroad linking the eastern and western United States during the vast and challenging frontier era of 1868. Engineers and workers assemble the steel frame of a Ferris wheel for the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904, an engineering landmark that celebrated the Louisiana Purchase Centennial and American technological progress. Men packed into a long line wait patiently for a job opening, illustrating the severe social and economic crisis that hit thousands of families during the Great Depression in the 1930s. Tangled electric wires cover the New York sky after the 1888 blizzard, showing the urban chaos that pushed the decision to permanently bury the city's utility lines for public safety. On May 28, 1987, young German pilot Matthias Rust shocked the world by landing his small Cessna plane in Red Square in Moscow, exposing failures in the Soviet Union air defense system during the Cold War. A coal miner poses with part of his large family in West Virginia in 1938, showing modest living conditions and the economic hardships faced by mine workers in the United States during the industrial era. Children watch the street activity in front of a fragile home on Cumberland Street in Dublin, revealing the severe hardship faced by residents of Irish slums during the 1940s. Clotheslines filled with white laundry stretch across narrow gaps between tenement buildings in New York in 1900, revealing population density and the daily life of immigrant families shaping urban America. A mother teaches her children to read and write in Transylvania, Louisiana in 1937, showing a family's push for education in segregated and impoverished rural communities in the southern United States after the Great Depression. Students train on driving simulators during a class in 1953, showing modern traffic education and the growth of post-war car culture when learning to drive became a social rite of passage. A customer looks over pie choices at a New York automat in 1936, using the new self-service system that changed quick urban eating before modern fast food chains took over. A swimmobile travels through New York City streets in 1960, offering a creative mobile way for city residents to cool off on hot summer days and changing the look of public roads in the metropolis. Small goat-drawn carts entertained children in Central Park in 1904. Young uniformed drivers guided visitors along New York's tree-lined paths as part of the city's leisure options. A mother uses a simple home method to pull her child's baby tooth in 1897, showing common household practices before modern dentistry and anesthesia techniques became widespread in the late 19th century. Mata Hari embodies the mystery of espionage during World War I by balancing her performing career with double agent activity. Her story ended on October 15, 1917, after she was convicted by French authorities. Polish soldiers interact with Wojtek the bear, an animal that served as a mascot and helped carry supplies during the Battle of Monte Cassino in World War II, becoming a symbol of loyalty and military bravery. Marilyn Monroe and Ralph Edwards take part in a charity baseball game with Hollywood celebrities in 1952, highlighting the blend of entertainment and American sports culture after the war. Apollo 1 astronauts conduct water survival training in 1966, using life rafts and a test capsule to simulate an ocean rescue after returning from a space mission toward the moon. Inventor Lawrence Hargrave uses his innovative box kites to lift himself off the ground at Stanwell Park Beach in Australia during pioneering aerodynamics tests on November 12, 1894. Young people have fun at Hermosa Beach by tossing their friend Norma Baker into the air with a blanket in 1948, a scene captured by John Florea for Life magazine that shows post-war California beach leisure culture. Computer scientist Margaret Hamilton poses beside the large stacks of code she and her team developed for the Apollo 11 navigation software, helping ensure a safe crewed landing on the moon in mid-1969. President Richard Nixon speaks with the Apollo 11 astronauts through the window of a mobile quarantine unit after the historic return of the first moon landing crew on July 24, 1969. Marilyn Monroe shares a table with Betty Grable and influential columnist Walter Winchell in 1953, highlighting Hollywood's golden age and the complex power network between movie stars and the American press. Marilyn Monroe attends a social event during the 1940s in the early stage of her public Hollywood career, showing the constant interaction between rising stars and influential figures of the time. Marilyn Monroe is spotted enjoying a hot dog at a New York snack counter in 1957, surrounded by onlookers watching the star in a rare, everyday moment amid the city rush. American model Kathy Ireland poses with a baseball bat for a Sports Illustrated photo shoot, blending sports style with big magazine editorial look during 1987. Actress Carrie Fisher poses dressed as the iconic Princess Leia on a California beach for a Rolling Stone promotional shoot, marking the release of the film Return of the Jedi during 1983. Actress Jamie Lee Curtis poses next to a road sign warning about dangerous curves, mixing humor and charm in a photo shoot that captured her image as a Hollywood icon during the 1980s. Swedish-American actress Margaret poses for the camera during a photo shoot that highlights her standout presence in entertainment through the 1970s, cementing her status as an international cultural symbol. Natalie Wood poses for promotional photos for the comedy Penelope in 1966, capturing the changing look of the 60s as she solidified her image as one of Hollywood's most versatile actresses. Actors Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall enjoy a relaxed moment on a boat in 1945, the period that marked the start of their iconic personal and professional partnership in Hollywood's golden age. Sophia Loren and Marlon Brando attend the Academy Award ceremony in 1954, bringing together two of the biggest names in world cinema on a night that celebrated Hollywood's golden age and honored rising international talent. Princess Diana greets Rowan Atkinson at an event in 1984, capturing a meeting between British royalty and one of the world's biggest comedy names during a time of major public attention for both. Jackie Chan smiles beside a reporter at the height of his international career, showing his closeness with Asian media while promoting action films that reshaped the genre in the late 20th century. Muhammad Ali shares a moment with model Pat Cleveland during the 1970s, when both symbolized the rise of black culture and style in global sports and entertainment. Muhammad Ali talks with Belinda Boyd in a Chicago bakery in 1966, a moment before their marriage in 1967 that shows the boxer's private life outside the ring during a time of intense media attention. Michael Jordan and Len Bias battle for the ball during a basketball camp in 1980, a meeting of two of the biggest American college prospects before they followed very different and memorable paths. American consumers filled their cars with regular gasoline at 48 cents per gallon in 1974, reflecting the economy and energy costs that shaped driving life in the 1970s. Swimmers deal with intense summer heat in Moscow in 1976 by using newspaper hats and a floating board for a chess game, reflecting how popular the sport was in everyday Soviet culture. Beachgoers packed the shoreline at Coney Island in New York during the 1950s, showing how amusement parks and public beaches became top entertainment destinations for the American middle class. A typical family gathers in front of a television set in the 1950s, a period shaped by mass consumer culture and technology changes that permanently transformed entertainment and home life. A homemaker prepares a traditional Thanksgiving feast in 1940 using an old stove to roast the turkey, a gesture that symbolizes gratitude and the preservation of cultural roots in American homes of the time. An African-American family keeps a religious tradition by saying a prayer of thanks before a meal, reflecting household values and the importance of spiritual unity in 20th century community life. Great Britain's women's swim team celebrates winning the gold medal in the 400-meter freestyle relay in 1912, marking women's early breakthrough in Olympic competition at the start of the 20th century. Gymnastics trainees in the 1890s show advanced physical skill in a Victorian training setting, where balancing on wooden beams and athletic effort challenged the era's strict social conventions. Women practiced boxing on top of a building in 1938, reflecting the use of urban spaces for recreation and women's sports between the wars as new social dynamics gained strength in big cities. A driver checks the seatbelt in her car during the 1950s, when the device was being introduced as a new safety feature to raise protection standards and reduce risk in road crashes. A woman uses a portable one-leg seat to rest while waiting in line, showing a compact and practical design solution for comfort in public spaces during everyday life in 1953. Women carry large blocks of ice using metal hooks in 1918, a hands-on job essential for keeping food fresh in homes and businesses before modern electric refrigerators became common. Two women show the evolution of two-wheel engineering by posing with motorcycles from different generations in 1936. The contrast features an 1897 Holden crank drive beside a powerful new Imperial twin of 500 cubic centimeters, about 30.5 cubic inches. Traffic on Westminster Bridge in London showed a mix of carriages, pedestrians, and electric streetcars in 1903. The grand architecture along the Thames River completed the scene of the British capital. Times Square buzzed with heavy streetcar and car traffic in 1927, becoming New York's commercial hub as bright signs from famous brands already dominated the city's tall skyline. Bright signs for the Astor Theater and the New York Times light up Times Square on a night in 1911, showing heavy carriage traffic and early automobiles in the vibrant cultural heart of Manhattan. The first taxi with a meter drives through New York streets in 1901, introducing a new distance-based fare system that would revolutionize city transportation in major world capitals. Owners charge an electric vehicle in 1905, showing that alternative propulsion technologies were already being explored in the early 20th century before gasoline engines fully took over. Charles S. L. Baker presents his innovative friction heating system in 1906, seeking a cost-saving way to warm spaces without traditional fuels and marking a step forward in thermal engineering of the time. Raquel Welch appears in a Beverly Hills home setting in 1976, showing the luxurious look and interior design tied to Hollywood's elite during the 1970s at the height of her global movie star status. Shell and Union fuel pumps operated on Bent Street in Sydney around 1928. An attendant handles the old equipment while a car waits to be filled on the Australian street. Workers assemble motorcycles by hand inside the original Harley-Davidson factory in 1924, revealing the era's production methods that helped cement the brand as an icon of American mechanical engineering. Bubble cars became popular in Europe during post-war rebuilding, offering an affordable, compact transportation option that reflected urban changes seen in 1963. A prototype touch-screen phone developed by Apple in 1983 shows early exploration of tactile interfaces and stylus pens long before the modern smartphone revolution in technology. A customer uses a complex permanent wave hair machine in 1930, showing the early beauty technology developed to meet new women's fashion standards in the years between the wars. Young people wear flapper-era outfits for a school dance in the 1920s, showing drop-waist dresses and cloche hats that symbolized women's freedom and modern style after World War I. Women display long dresses and ornate hats in 1908, revealing the sophistication of Edwardian fashion captured by Horace W. Nichols at a social event that highlights etiquette and early 20th century trends. Traditional Dutch hairstyles from 1943 show unusual cuts with long sides and shaved backs, reflecting regional customs preserved in the Netherlands even under the harsh social conditions of World War II. Marie of Romania wears elaborate ceremonial clothing in 1896, highlighting Byzantine influence in European monarchy and the diplomatic role played by Queen Victoria's granddaughter in Eastern European courts. Margaret Roberts, at 26, is seen moments before marrying businessman Dennis Thatcher, a union that shaped her personal life and came before her rise as one of the most influential political figures of the 20th century. John Fitzgerald Kennedy is photographed at age 22 in 1939 while accompanying his father, the United States ambassador to the United Kingdom, witnessing European politics up close on the eve of World War II. Tsarevich Nicholas Alexandrovich Romanov rides through Japan in a rickshaw in 1891, documenting an important stage of his diplomatic trip to the East before taking the throne as the last emperor of Russia. The bust of Queen Nefertiti is displayed after its discovery on December 6, 1912, one of the most significant finds in Egyptian archaeology that revealed the artistic sophistication of the Amarna period in ancient Egypt. The intact seal of Tutankhamun's tomb remains closed in 1922, protecting the pharaoh's resting place for more than 3,000 years until its opening, a milestone that reshaped archaeology and knowledge of ancient Egypt. The sacred mountain known as Six Grandfathers by the Lakota Sioux underwent a drastic transformation in the 1920s to make way for Mount Rushmore National Memorial, permanently changing the local spiritual and geographic landscape. One of the massive basalt colossal heads carved by the Olmec civilization is examined at a Mexican archaeological site, representing political and religious leaders of a culture that flourished before 900 before Christ. Intricate carvings in volcanic rock form the entrance to Goa Gajah, the elephant sanctuary in Bali, revealing the mastery of 9th century sacred architecture devoted to meditation and Hindu purification rituals. Newspaper boys, known as newsboys, gathered at Greeley Square in New York to sell daily editions in 1903. The busy city center featured ads for hair products as the boys waited for customers. Farmers met in front of the Linwood Post Office in Kentucky to talk on Saturday afternoons in 1940. The spot served as a community gathering place, showing drink ads and sacks of farm supplies. Residents of Sprott, Alabama, gather on the porch of the Crossroads General Store between 1935 and 1936, where a Coca-Cola sign and the local post office marked the center of rural community life during the Great Depression. A classroom in South Dakota shows everyday school life in 1890, where a large central stove kept students and the teacher warm during lessons, reflecting the organized teaching style of the American frontier. Roy Wensley presents the Herbert Televox automaton in 1927, one of the first humanoid robots designed to respond to sound commands, marking the start of experiments with automation and artificial intelligence in the 20th century. Students at Chapman High School in Kansas organized a canning club to learn food preservation techniques in 1917. Their work displayed dozens of properly labeled jars as the result of hands-on learning. A man shows off a crescent-shaped haircut and beard in 1895, revealing unusual style trends and personal creativity at the end of the 19th century. Standing beside the trunk of a 1,000-year-old sequoia in 1905, a man shows the monumental scale of ancient forests, highlighting nature's power amid early 20th century expansion and exploitation. A family poses in front of their Victorian home and an early automobile, illustrating the rise of the middle class and the growing ideal of prosperity that defined American life in the early 20th century. A luxurious living room in the 1860s displays ornate furniture and detailed decorations, reflecting the domestic customs and private world of wealthy families living through 19th century social change. Young people gather to play cards around a fireplace in a conversation pit, an architectural feature reflecting interior design trends and the value placed on intimate modern hangout spaces in the mid-20th century. Baby strollers hang from the outside of a bus in Opawa during the 1950s, revealing creative urban transport solutions in New Zealand to meet the needs of growing post-war families. A street vendor in Japan between 1890 and 1896 carries an impressive load of handmade brooms and baskets, showing the complex logistics of street trade during the Meiji period and the local economy. Lace makers in Brittany, France, worked carefully on a massive piece in 1920, preserving traditional textile techniques that shaped the region's cultural identity and household economy. Maya women in the Yucatan Peninsula pose around 1952 wearing the traditional huipil, an embroidered garment that preserves cultural identity and ancestral weaving techniques amid Mexico's modernization. Yellow Magpie wears traditional Arapaho clothing in 1898, with details that reinforce Native cultural identity amid social changes driven by territorial expansion in the United States. Two Apsaroki people ride horses in front of a teepee in snowy Montana in 1908, preserving ancestral customs in a land shaped by harsh weather. In 1860, the Kiowa couple, Lone Wolf and Etla, are photographed in a studio wearing traditional clothing and adornments used by the Kiowa people. One sits on a wooden chair while the other stands beside them. Grizzly Adams built his fame in the mountains of California by taming wild bears and taking part in staged wrestling exhibitions with the animals, becoming a symbol of rugged frontier life in the mid-19th century. A prospector uses a gold pan to sift sediment for nuggets on the sands of Nome Beach in Alaska during the height of the northern gold rush in the early 1900s. American miners pose in front of a mine in 1850 wearing early jeans made by Levi Strauss to withstand hard work, marking the beginning of a practical garment in textile history. A family proudly poses beside their motorhome in the United States during the 1920s, a period that marked the start of camping culture and the desire to explore American roads with the comfort of home. American sailors at the Great Lakes Naval Training Station wait for inspection in 1940, standing rigidly behind their neatly arranged belongings in a photograph by Bernard Hoffman for Life magazine. A mail carrier smiles beside her horse in Los Angeles, California, showing the essential role of women in postal service and rural communication logistics during the first half of 1915. A draft horse drinks from a bucket of water in front of the New York Motor Car Company, showing how animal power and the rising auto industry coexisted in New York in the early 1900s. A well-dressed couple walks their terrier dog in front of a Victrola phonograph shop, reflecting social customs and entertainment spending in American cities at the start of the 20th century. In Brighton, England, in 1900, J.W. Waldron's Smith and Bicycle Works is photographed with bicycles leaning against the front and people gathered at the entrance. The shop handled repairs and sales during the rise of bicycles in city transportation. A pedestrian uses metal chairs to cross a flooded stretch on the Mall in London during the 1930s. The improvised method helped bypass puddles left by storms in the British capital. The Dynasphere was a bold vision of personal transport using a powered single-wheel concept in the 1930s. Patented by John Archibald Purvis in the United Kingdom, it aimed to combine efficiency and modern design. Crossing Topanga Canyon in California required skill from drivers exploring winding rocky roads in 1915. Early automobiles reshaped local tourism and the connection through the Santa Monica Mountains. A fisherman uses a lit torch to light the water during a night fishing trip in Hawaii in 1948, keeping alive a traditional method that tied local livelihood to the natural resources of the Pacific Islands. A couple glides on ice skates through Paris streets in 1938, enjoying a rare urban leisure moment beside classic French architecture just before social change brought by the start of the world conflict. A couple skates on Whitestone Pond in Hampstead, London in 1933, showing how public spaces were used for leisure and sport in British society between the wars. Women from the Padaong ethnic group interact with a British police officer on Elgin Avenue during a visit to London in 1935, showing the cultural contrast of a time when traditional peoples were displayed in European capitals. Robotic arms operated by a lab technician shave a volunteer, showing advanced experiments in automation and precision robotics developed during the 1990s. Elaborate hairstyles and extremely long hair reflect Victorian-era beauty standards in the 1860s, when long hair signaled social status and carefully cultivated femininity among high society. A woman works as a traveling library by carrying a modified bookshelf on her back to rent books to pedestrians, showing creative efforts to spread reading and share knowledge in city spaces. Heather Thomas poses by a swimming pool at the height of her popularity on American television in 1983, cementing her as a major pop culture icon and one of the standout images that defined entertainment in that decade. Marlene Dietrich is lifted up with excitement by soldiers as she returns to New York in 1945, celebrating the end of World War II and her key role in keeping Allied troop morale up during the conflict. Workers and drivers test car speed on the iconic track built on the roof of the Fiat Lingato factory in Turin, Italy, during the industrial operations of 1923. Japanese models pose in a Tokyo storefront to show Western beach fashion, drawing the curiosity of pedestrians under umbrellas during an innovative marketing strategy in the Reconstruction period of 1950. A gas station attendant uses a visible measuring pump to fill a passenger car at one of the earliest fuel stations in the United States, showing the fast growth of road infrastructure throughout the 1920s. Legendary boxer Jack Johnson faces a mechanical automaton in a ring during a technology demonstration that explored the interaction between human athletic performance and early machines in 1910. Comedian Bob Hope performs for thousands of American soldiers during a special Christmas show in the middle of the Vietnam War, boosting troop morale in Southeast Asia throughout December 1970. A mail carrier cautiously approaches a home while a large dog stands alert behind the gate, capturing a colorful everyday moment published in Life magazine starting on November 23, 1936. A young Nikola Tesla wears a swimming instructor uniform while talking with a woman seated on the sand at a public beach, enjoying a rare social leisure moment in his youth in the late 19th century. A young admirer climbs a wall decorated with the coat of arms of Poland to kiss Secretary Władysław Gomulka, making a spontaneous show of excitement during a public event in the 1960s. Sergeant Major Jiggs holds his post inside the cockpit of a United States Marine Corps aircraft in 1922, cementing bulldogs as official symbols of loyalty and toughness for the military branch. A young woman shows shyness and joy in front of a camera lens in 1883, revealing rare spontaneity in 19th century portraits when social rules and photo techniques usually demanded very stiff poses. A camera operator is strapped to the front of a race car to capture high-speed shots for the Film Grand Prix in 1966, an innovative technique meant to deliver the realism and adrenaline of Formula One racing to audiences. Women in Montreal wear plastic face shields in 1939, a curious innovation meant to protect makeup and faces from harsh snowstorms and reflecting pre-war design solutions. Bulgarian farmers use an elephant to plow fields in 1900, showing how exotic animals were used in European farm work to provide pulling power in hard-to-manage farmland. Sheila Gabel works as a body double for famous Italian actress Sophia Loren during a film production, showing behind the scenes of European cinema's golden age and how important these professionals were for major stars. Italian traveler Attilio Gatti poses beside two pygmies and a captured gorilla in the Belgian Congo in 1930, reflecting European exploration trips that documented wildlife and local people during colonial rule. A performer stays calm while doing the dangerous sword-swallowing act while suspended in the air, showing high skill and the public's fascination with extreme entertainment in the past. Miners pose beside a colossal silver nugget weighing 120 metric tons, about 132 short tons, found in British Columbia in 1892, illustrating the scale of mineral finds that drove the Canadian economy and frontier exploration. Polish enthusiasts use portable cassette tape recorders to capture the sound of a concert during the 1980s, reflecting a music-sharing culture during a time of restricted access. French actress Marion Cotillard poses for a photo shoot in the 2000s, the period when she solidified her move from theater and television to international film stardom with acclaimed performances. German pilots test electrically heated flight suits during World War I, a crucial technical innovation for dealing with low temperatures at high altitude and keeping air missions effective. Players from the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Chicago Blackhawks stop a hockey game to search for Jack Evans's lost contact lens, an unusual moment showing how valuable that optical technology once was. A busy street in Vicksburg shows the contrast between ornate arches and a growing number of cars in 1936, capturing Mississippi's urban transition during the Great Depression years. Under a heavy Texas sky in 1951, a local resident shows relief and gratitude as the first raindrops end a severe drought and transform the region's dry conditions. Members of a girls' school basketball team pose for a photo around 1910, wearing the long uniforms of the time that reflected social expectations and limits placed on women's sports in the early 20th century. Electrolux salespeople fill a ballroom in New York during a convention in 1974, showing the peak of direct sales culture and the large corporate celebrations common in the 1970s. Hired by the state of Tennessee, engineer Fred Leuchter was tasked with evaluating and modernizing prison system equipment, aiming to update mechanisms used in official local justice procedures. Around 1944, on a Pacific island, a military jeep drives along a dirt road with equipment mounted on the back. Two soldiers ride in the vehicle, and the hull of a Japanese Type 95 Hago light tank appears in the background. Russian women soldiers march carrying equipment with fixed blades, showing female mobilization and the crucial role of women on the front lines during the early 20th century in Eastern Europe. A Yakima tribal council chief on horseback in traditional clothing visits his son during military training in 1954, creating a striking contrast between ancestral heritage and the modern era. Vehicles covered in a thick layer of snow in Chillicothe, Ohio, are photographed by Arthur Rothstein in 1940, capturing the harsh winter and stalled transportation in a small American town. Mae Musk works at a typewriter during the 1960s, representing women's presence in office work while building her career as a successful model and nutritionist. Researchers monitor volunteers fitted with breathing devices during an experiment on urban pollution levels in 1956, showing early scientific concerns about air quality in cities. If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, please use the Super Thanks tool below. Your contribution helps us keep bringing you amazing historical content. Thank you so much for your support, and see you in the next video.